We have the pylon at the front. Of course, he's going to be able to set up that wall off a little bit later on. Going around seeing the lack of gas as well as the pull timing, HuK has a very good idea of what's going on right now. On the other side, Violet did not opt to drone scout. That's pretty standard, though. Alright. Two gases so far. A very common build on this map is to just open up with the Stargate. Oh! Violet really wants that probe. Like, he really wants it. My god, that commitment, but he gets it. That's a big commitment right there. But he made sure that probe was not able to stick around for very long. A surprising amount of commitment there out of Violet, but he will get the probe, so at the end of the day, he comes out on top. First Overlord in position to scout this Stalker moving across the map. A bit of an interesting... He's looking for Overlords here, or any potential Zerglings coming out. But Violet has his Overlords in perfect position to avoid getting hit with this high ground. The Stalker will move forward. He knows... HuK knows without Speedlings, there's no threat. There's no way any real damage is going to be done, so... Alright. We see the Stargate on the way. Of course, Stargate, like I mentioned, very common on this map. Violet doing a little bit of good counter damage. Are there any additional queens? Yeah, he's going for at least one additional creep spread queens. Make that two. I guess, most utility and possibly useful defense against pretty much everything. Queens. You got creep spread, you got transfuses that build up over time, you have anti-air and anti-ground, and they're pretty tanky as well. They have a lot of HP. Also, importantly, they don't take larva to build. Without taking larva, that means you have more larva to build drones. You build more drones, you can actually make more powerful units in greater number later on. So Queens, definitely a solid choice for early defense, especially against something like this Stargate. It's going to be an Oracle. This is not a Phoenix build so far. He's not going for a bunch of Stargates and banking up 4-6 Phoenixes and saying, surprise, and trying to kill all his Overlords and Queens off in one swoop. We have 3 gateways here, so potential for early aggression. But HuK is going to go down for the third base. This map, you don't really need to focus on early defense, but instead you can go for the third base early on and have those units out a little bit later so you have a decent economy. We're looking at 37 probes against 47 drones so far. The Adepts are moving forward, but Violet will scout this, very importantly. 8 Zerglings on the way, but Zergling speed only just started. Interesting choice of Violet to take his gases on the low ground here. Now the Adepts are moving forward. There is an Oracle looking to move in. There are no Spore Crawlers in this back mineral line, but the first Spore Crawler will be able to knock him back, and the Oracle will be used to take out these Queens. That will force the Queens back. He might even be able to pick off the second one as well. Another one moving out. Remember, no speed on these Zerglings, very importantly. The Adepts will shade by. He'll be able to pick up one of them. Good kills so far. The rest of the Lings are moving back, and the Oracle not gonna go down quite yet. The Queen's not able to reach out for that. More Adepts are coming in. We've seen only 3 drones killed so far. That is not too bad. A single Phoenix actually walking its way through, getting some Overlord kills. Looking at the worker counts, Violet comes out of that relatively unscathed. He took a couple punches, but nothing too major. He can shake that off pretty easy. And now we have the counterattack with the Zerglings. Now, of course, Violet does not expect this to do any real damage, but he needs to do this counterattack. He's got to keep HuK honest here. That's very important. If he doesn't do this counterattack, HuK can sit back and focus almost entirely on probes. He can be on the other side of the map. But this is going to allow Violet to get his 4th base up. The lair is on the way. There's not quite enough Adepts here to straight up fight these Zerglings, but a Photon Overcharge definitely complements it pretty well. Alright. 2 more gas geysers on the way. We see the lair finishing. Now we're going to have to see the direction that Violet wants to take this. He's got the Roach Warren, but interestingly, he is going for the melee upgrades. Now, I didn't point this out before. I didn't really pay attention to this before, but look at these Evo chambers. This is pretty much entirely to make sure the Adepts have to take longer to get around. And it worked out earlier when the Adepts were shading up. It bought him a little bit of extra time. Nothing crazy there, but just the little things here. If you have an Evo chamber here and an Evo chamber here, that does nothing. But an Evo chamber on that side is more than enough to delay the Adepts. Now, some more Overlords are going to fall. It looks like that standard Roach Hydra composition coming up. It looks like it's going to be a very Ling-heavy army, though. This will help to deny the 4th base because it's not very easy. It's not very easy to deal with upgraded Zerglings before you have Archons. I mean, you could even have Immortals, and believe me, we're going to have Immortals. We got 2, in the way of robotics on the way. That is going to be 2 Immortals at a time. Probably an Observer. He might opt for a Warp Prism. Oh! He's actually forced to recall with this army. There is the Stasis Ward! Oh no! Violet not paying attention! He came in, he actually engaged the army in a beautiful location, but a clutch Stasis Ward out from HuK. Wow, a hard wall coming up. Oh my god! Oh, the ghetto force field. He almost did it perfectly. Violet will actually be able to make it through, but he actually finished all these pylons. That was a bit unnecessary, but just the idea there was amazing. More Phoenixes are coming up. The worker count still 77. Violet's sitting pretty on this Roach Hydra composition. And so far, despite losing all of those Zerglings, Violet looking pretty comfortable. He knows he has a 4th base up with gas mining. Very solid here in a sec. More Stasis Wards. We'll see if they come into such critical usage. But so far, he's getting some work done with these Phoenixes. The Templar Archives only just started. Storm is a long way off. If the Lurker Den starts right now, Storm will not be finished before Lurkers are out. That's an important timing. All right, the Lurker Den gonna be on time for this. A lot more. Ooh, a big Roach Hydra attack. The Stasis Wards are in place. Will he notice them? Oh no, this could be so bad for Violet. These Stasis Wards have been incredibly clutch so far. No! There goes a huge chunk of the army once again. My voice is cracking. The distortion is all over the mic. And Violet's going to be forced to retreat with a ton of supply in his army on the other side. He's going to try to find himself in a good location. That's actually a good force field for Violet there. He's continuing to press across. Another force field will keep these units away. Is he going to stasis them again? No, he's not. But this army's moving in. He actually really wanted to kill these units, and Violet is streaming forward. A lot of army supply. It looks like he's turning this one around. The Trapper has become the Trapped. Another Stasis Ward. Oh, gonna lock down. Oh my god, the Stasis Wards are incredibly clutch right now. That's gonna be just enough to drive this back. There are no Roaches or Lings in front without them. But if he's sticking around here for too long, I think Violet's going to be able to overwhelm. The supplies are dropping on both sides. We see 134 to 108 so far. He's going to be forced to drop back. The stasis is about to come off. He's right on top of these Immortals immediately. He's going to be able to take a couple off. A couple charge lots as well. But Violet, his stream is starting to thin out just a little bit, and he might be forced to retreat. Gets another Immortal for his troubles. A lot of charge lots in front, but this Ling style is allowing him to just overwhelm the defenses of HuK, and that's beautifully done so far. HuK will be forced off of that base. He has the important part here, no Archons. The Lurker Den is done. Violet just finished up making 20 Hydralisks. And also, not to mention, 10 Lurkers. This is looking real tough for HuK right now. The Stasis Wards have been good, but Violet has just been slamming out so many units. He's up to 5 hatcheries. Violet's almost maxed out. There's no army to really deal with this. He's already lost some Immortals. He only has a handful of Archons. This is just somewhere in the realm of way too many Lurkers. Violet's going to be coming in for another wave, and another Stasis Ward going to connect, but only on a few Zerglings this time. The upgrades. 1-1 and +2 attack on the Zerglings. No upgrades for HuK. No upgrades for HuK. This army is just not cost-effective enough. There are so many Lurkers in the back. He's trying to push through. The Archons are doing a great job tanking. This 4th base is gone. Violet, this entire game, HuK's been making some smart plays, but Violet just relying on brute force to get his point, to drive his point home at this point. We see 175 supply. The Archons are doing a good job. The Lurkers are moving forward. This is pretty much HuK's last chance before he's right on top of everything, but these Zerglings are just getting up in his face and annoying him so much. And all that are left are the Immortals. He's desperately trying to warp in more. He's got a bunch of money in the bank. But even after all of this, Violet has a Hive and a Spire on the way, and that's going to be GG. Violet's going to take it home in game number 1. In a pretty convincing manner as well. He's able to get those bases up. Sure, HuK was able to do some counterattacks. He got some damage done. He got some money Stasis Wards. But Just look at the workers count. The entire game. Violet gets his 3 hatch up. HuK went for a little bit of early aggression instead of taking a third base. He was a little bit behind in the economy. And Violet, with those Zerglings, was really able to drive the point home. Having those Zerglings with their upgrades means he has the ability to defend and counterattack very quickly. If he just goes for Roach Hydra, whenever you go somewhere, it's a big commitment. So